Good morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told out of Voice of Radio. So today, we've got to look at some weird news, which I was not expecting to be sharing today. You see, a whole bunch of people have gone and sent me an image, which has appeared on the official Pokémon Center website. Now, it's on a listing for the Build and Battle Stadium for Astral Radiance, but it is actually the back of the Build and Battle Stadium for Lost Origin. At this stage, you should be thinking, hang on a second, Wassy. What's Lost Origin? That's not familiar. And the answer is, it's blatantly the next set. For those of you that are unaware, these sets are made well in advance. So, at this stage, we're expecting the Scarlet and Violet TCG to be launching in English in February. I would be absolutely stunned if the first Scarlet and Violet set wasn't already designed. Because you kind of have to. You have to work well in advance for this, for various reasons, QA, translation, production, etc. So, clearly, not only is this Build and Battle Stadium done, but I would be absolutely stunned if the next Build and Battle Stadium, the final Sword and Shield set, was not already done as well. And it appears that what's gone and happened is that this image has been put up for the Astral Radiance box, when it is in fact the Lost Origin box. So what does this tell us about the set? And the honest answer is, it doesn't actually give us a huge amount of information, because a lot of this was already known. So, of the booster pack artwork, I believe there's only actually one new Pokemon on there, in terms of Pokemon we didn't know were definitely 100% in the set. And we've got the name Lost Origin, but honestly, we know that the Japanese name is Lost Abyss. We know that, that's official, that is known, we've known that for a while. We've seen the trademark over in Japan, although admittedly the trademark doesn't guarantee set name, although the hit rate for that has been pretty good. But we saw a listing on PlayAsia months ago at this stage for Lost Abyss. And there was no guarantee, but remember, as I've told you in a bunch of videos at this stage, when Pokemon put Lost in the title of a set, it's Lost Zone. Lost Link was the Japanese set that brought in the Lost Zone initially. Lost Thunder was the English set which brought it back. So Lost Abyss, and again, we don't actually have confirmation of this yet, but I would be absolutely stunned if Lost Abyss and now Lost Origin did not bring the Lost Zone back. So if they are bringing the Lost Zone back, and they are making a pretty big deal about it, and they're calling the set Lost Abyss in Japan, then Lost Origin is a perfectly sensible name. It is interesting to note that the previous times, the Japanese set had Lost in the title but the English didn't, and then the English had Lost in the title but the Japanese didn't. This time they are far closer. So it's an interesting name, but let's face it, it's not exactly something we couldn't have seen coming. The other big thing we see is Giratina, and this is blatantly, obviously, the Giratina set. Giratina's on the Build and Battle Stadium, Giratina's on the Build and Battle box, Giratina is on one of the booster packs. So this is the Giratina set. In the same way that Fusion Strike was the Mew set. And we can see a similar kind of thing when we have a look at Fusion Strike. We had Mew on one of the booster packs, Mew on the Build and Battle Stadium, Mew on the booster box, and then of course Mew V Max was not only one of the cards in the set, but it's absolutely fair to say that Mew V Max was a very, very good card that has absolutely earned its place on the front of the pack. We could take a look at Brilliant Stars, and Brilliant Stars was clearly the Arceus set, because you had Arceus on one of the booster packs, Arceus on the Build and Battle box, Arceus on the Build and Battle Stadium, and then of course in the set you had Arceus V-Star, who wasn't just a new V-Star, but was the V-Star in the set. What does this tell us about Giratina? It tells us that Giratina is in the set, because there's no way they're putting Giratina as the cover Pokemon without putting it in the set. I suppose we could say it's not guaranteed, but come on, it's blatantly happening at this stage. It also all but guarantees that there will be a Giratina V-Star, Because again, the cover Pokemon gets a V-Star, or as they were, V-Max. So you can, if you want to, say it's not 100% confirmed, because it's not. But at this stage, it is as good as 100% confirmed. Call it like 99.9. It does not guarantee that it's going to be good. It makes it very likely that it's going to be good, because again, Mew VMAX is great, Arceus V-Star is great, and we didn't actually do Astral Radiance a moment ago, but, you know, if we do Astral Radiance, well, interestingly enough, they went for Dialga on the Build and Battle box, and Palkia on the Build and Battle Stadium. So they actually split it up, which is not something we see very often. Palkia and Dialga, and we all knew Palkia was going to be great. That's not a surprise. What is kind of interesting is that it turns out Dialga is also great. You didn't see that coming. And don't get me wrong, Dialga looked super interesting, but it also looked super awkward. I didn't think it was going to end up being as good as quickly, but it really does look like it is a legit card. So expect Giratina to be a good card. No guarantee, but it's very, very likely. And also, I'm going to just say this very quickly. Hey, it is the Giratina set. We did think it was going to be the Giratina set. Turns out it is. And I talked myself around a little bit on this one. Because on the one hand, I saw Lost Zone and went, oh, Giratina. That makes perfect sense. But then, on the other hand, as much as I equate Giratina with the Lost Zone, that's not actually terribly fair. Because Giratina came around in Platinum, and weirdly enough, and I don't really understand how this happened, but there were 5 Giratina in Platinum. Yeah, they went hard on Giratina in Platinum, but only 2 of them actually brought in the Lost Zone, which is a little bit strange. So although I always think about Giratina as being the Lost Zone Pokemon, it's maybe not as much as I think it is, but then having said that, it did turn out. So I always think about Giratina as a Lost Zone Pokemon. I don't think it's actually quite as clear as that, but hey, apparently Pokemon agree with me because, and again, we do not know this is the Lost Zone set. I am making an assumption based on the name of the set and actually the fact that I went, hey, Lost Zone is going to be Giratina, and now it is Giratina. That actually does make me think, hey, maybe this is going to happen. But the Lost Zone is not confirmed. That is very, very important. Actually, something I've just realized, they've put the Build and Battle kits as level 2 products. And if we look at the Astral Radiance, which is the most recent one before this, that's not actually got a level on it. It's a very little change that really means nothing in reality, but I think it's kind of cool that they've actually gone and done this. But if we look at the other Pokemon on the booster pack artwork, it tells us nothing about the set. Because you see, before we found out it was Lost Origin, there was only really one thing we knew about this set, and that is that it had to contain Dark Phantasma. The reason essentially is this is Sword and Shield 11, and our Sword and Shield sets always contain the previous A set from Japan. So our Sword and Shield 11 had to be Sword and Shield 10A inside it, because Sword and Shield 10A comes after Sword and Shield 10, so we get it kind of a set later, so to speak. So we knew Dark Phantasma was going to be in there, and if you look at the other booster pack artwork, we've definitely got Hisuian Zoroark, but that has a V-Star in Dark Phantasma that we already know about. There is Enamorus, but that has a Pokemon V, not a V-Star, just a V, that we know about. And I believe that's Gallade on the other booster pack. I am not as sure about that one, honestly, but a bunch of people have told me it's Gallade. I'm going to go ahead and believe them. Shout out to the lovely Stephen Kent, who was one of them. And again, Gallade had a Pokemon V in the set. So we would expect this. So actually, if we look at the 4 booster packs that we've been shown here, 3 of them feature Pokemon from Dark Phantasma that we knew were going to be in the set anyway because they had to be. And then we've got Giratina. So in terms of new information, it's actually Kind of sneaky how little this tells us. It confirms the name of the set as Lost Origin, and it gives us the logo. It tells us that it is the Giratina set, which we suspected, but we didn't know. And it basically tells us the Giratina V-Star is in there, and it's suspected to be good. The people making these products think it's going to be good, because again, we can look at the last few products. The Pokemon that make it onto these products are generally seen as good, although let's be clear, that is far from a guarantee, but it is a little bit of a trend we've noticed, and I think that is very important. It doesn't confirm that it's going to be a set bringing in the Lost Zone. It doesn't give us a description of the set. It doesn't tell us about any other new Pokemon that are coming in the set. It just tells us it's called Lost Origin, and it is in fact the Giratina set. So now it's over to you guys. Tell me what your predictions are for this set. Tell me what you can glean from this. Tell me if you think I've missed anything. Tell me how excited you are. Tell me anything you want to tell me. Go nuts in the comment section, would you? But be nice! And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at the Wasi, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCG Radio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all that good stuff, head on over to patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can do exactly that. But by far the most important thing as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.